I'm on my way to Paul's, walking down the street to his. It's a bright day, an angle-poised sun in my eyes. Late spring, early morning, weekend quiet as I make my way to his. The only person close, the only person I touch and who touches me. This walk, my ritual, my repetition, my salvation, my everyday way to him, down from Easthorpe Street towards St. John's Road, the street where it will happen, the street I am heading toward, an inevitable moment in the vectors of the time, a shared ritual for boys like me, a ritual in which we find ourselves, in which we are given ourselves. I walk down St. Mary's Crescent, curving down through 1940s, semi-detached, social housing with compact front gardens bounded by hedges, glass fish in the windows of the front rooms, lace curtains. Past the alley to the Little Wreck, and then the left onto St. John's Road itself. I retrace it now, on Street View, on my desktop, on my laptop. I click and move. I look behind. There was no knowing it then. I held nothing in my mind of my way there on that day. There was no building tension, no fear, just a sudden appearance. I see the street that was behind me for the first time again, where I walked. I click and jump through the tunnelled distortion, past the Victorian house where Peter Webster lived, his dad a plumber, the numbered door immediately onto the pavement. I check the geography of my memory, check the endurance of the location, its endurance in multiple places. There and then, now and here, street view and memory, image and feeling. I find feelings I didn't have then, find where they still live in the images the world holds outside my head. I reconcile times and places. Memory is a fetish I can't get out of. I gather strings of images. The street re-illuminates routeways of my brain. Then still stands there. I still stand there. Now and then stand there. Time and place don't move. They rise through my desktop, come alive in the indelible places of me. I hover my cursor, await transfusion with another rush of replayed time. I've been back in real life. Who hasn't? I even went back while writing this to make it accurate, stood in the exact spot, loaded that world again to my neurons, to the runways of my endocrine system. It was still there. The air I breathed was still there, in place. I stood and located myself in its thick syrup. I stood in relation to the buildings and the street, found the centre of all the vectors that met then and now, the 1,000 arrows of lifelong regulation summed up in a moment. Not a centimetre forward, not a centimetre back, I rocked in place, fell into a hot nadir of time, like a ball in a child's puzzle. Some people say that ghosts are a kind of electromagnetic recording of loaded moments, absorbed by their surroundings, replayed at some trigger. I held my hands out like a psychic on a theremin. Exactly here. I pressed play on the locked turmoil of the street. I released feeling through a wormhole of time, my exact spot triangulated, this fracture. Perhaps I am overly dramatic. You will say I am a drama queen, a necromancer who throws gaudy clothing over empty space. But last week I went, the exact spot, feeling it like an exorcism. I double-click, confirm. The air clots again through my shaky internet connection. The light of day fractures like some prismatic star in the lens of the Google car. Shards of light in memory glimmer. Something from another world steps through. I was innocent of process then. There was no before of the moment then. There was no behind or coming on of time in my footsteps, any more than I could then construct the causal chain that led to the incident that was about to happen. Others, in their actions, were already moving beyond me, toward me, already in our mutual future and in our completed past, approaching, coinciding. Event horizons are small for 10-year-olds. Our geographic minds don't stretch far. The world happens immediately, enters our circle from nowhere. It did on that day, gathering instantaneously, faster than light to arrive. The blue vectors of arrival screamed. Every day, for someone, they arrive, unbidden and without history, these streaks of time to an inescapable moment, coinciding in a sudden location with no precedent, holding forever in a frozen place without further progress, the first marker of frigid time. At the point of impact, where all vectors meet, everything stops. The ripples of the air freeze. It is an eternity. The world around you holds your breath as its own and beats with your own borrowed heartbeat over there, forever arrested in the mechanics of the world. I first saw myself in a mirror starkly on a bright spring day in the angle-poise lamp of an orange sun. It was an arrest well plotted in the architecture of the social. It had been coming in processes that would go unexplained, like fear, for the longest time. The repercussions of a moment do not burgeon out of all proportion, they burgeon in proportion with the energy they contain. Dense packets are passed to blue touch papers. And she was a conduit, a fuse. She herself a compelled continuation, a plot. I reopen the packet of her at the click of a mouse. Dogs awaken. Energetic moments are compulsive and contagious. Gravity propagates forever. Black holes knock on, in letters, on a page, in voices, these soft pink impacts, baby fists wailing on the retinal arrangement of your eyes, your ears, words. I push their snout away. Even my prevarication, this itself is predictable. I pick at a child's scab on the knee of my heart, these conduits with their tiny messengers. But avoid excavation and, supposedly, the charges sink and explode elsewhere, maybe years later, in me or in the path of some other innocent ship, drunk. I'm all continuance and charting, unpacking, diffusing by the hands of recognition and acknowledgement. This is what I claim. I have diffused the bomb. I pass it on. Put this in the sea. We are the bomb disposal squad. I have arrived, via Street View and in real life and in the past, to the place on St. John's Road where cement poured down from the concrete mixer of the sky, setting an image of me in place. St. John's Road, where the hardened statue of my 10-year-old self still stands in the wind and the rain and the sun. I locate the slab of paving where the moment became a monument, the pervading world condensing into semi-permeable stone, locking in its inescapability and pretense, rapid silica into the fossil of me, there, then. There are two of us in this memorial statue, forever arrested face to face. I zoom in, approach again, looking for a plaque which will explain. Does she remember? Was it nothing to her, her concrete face, immortalized, looking up? We stand in the centre of the pavement on St. John's Road, across and a little back from Savage's Row. Savage's Row, that long terrace of small 19th century cottages, one up, one down, but I can't see around the corner. Only her on one paving stone, her head in my direction but facing me stopped on the slab immediately before. I lift a torch and shine it through Google Maps onto the limestone of our weathered faces. I fold back now the love that was not then. She was, maybe, 7. I'm on my way to Paul's, walking east along St. John's Road on the north side. The curb is to my right, Savage's Row across the road and to my right. The paving slabs are fresh, in newly laid order. A low brick wall fronts newly built houses on my left. They are square and metric, 1970s modern, slightly raised and overlooking. I feel their short green lawns. I am 50 metres from the junction with Wilford Road and Paul's. Home. Bostock's, the hardware store, is just up ahead. I know all this is there. It is the world. It is in place. Bostock's, where Paul and I buy sweets on vertical display, the crunches and paradise bars standing upright against the glass of an ad hoc cabinet that Mr. Bostock, the hardware man, has made and planted upright on his counter. He sells us fireworks on bonfire night from the same glass case because, although only 10, we are sensible kids, and that was then. I'm almost there. And then she is in front of me. There is a girl in front of me. I must have been looking down or too far ahead. I have no idea where she came from. I've never seen her before. A small girl of 7 or 8, smaller than me, no issue. She is standing in the middle of the pavement, navy blue cardigan, grey skirt, white blouse, a primary school uniform. She has long black hair, lank to the sides of her head. She is deliberately blocking my way in the middle of the pavement. I stop, curious. She wants something. She looks up at me. She is down there. I am up here. I am 10. She is small. She looks up with her whole face, which somehow looms in advance of itself, and she speaks. "You're a Mo, you are. We know you are." I do not know what she is saying. "You're a Mo. We know you are. A Mo." And she walks away. And I stand there. I'm standing there now. I'm reading Tony Adams' 2011 Narrating the Closet to see what insights it may give me, what sharing and what nods of recognition across time and across oceans. He is an American academic. Adams leads me to a paper by the social psychologist Harold Garfinkel, Conditions of Successful Social Degradation Ceremonies, in the American Journal of Sociology, March 1956. Communicative work directed to transforming an individual's total identity into an identity lower in the group's scheme of social types is called a status degradation ceremony. A status degradation ceremony. Is that what it was? I arrange frames of understanding. The paradigm of moral indignation is public denunciation. We publicly deliver the curse, "I call upon all men to bear witness that he is not as he appears, but is otherwise and in essence of a lower species." Garfinkel, 1956, page 420. "You're a Mo, you are. We know you are." I look around for the we. I look now on Street View. I look back into then. She came across the open road. There's no traffic, no parked cars, nobody. No one now, no one then. An empty street in both directions. But I can still feel the ones who know, just around the corner, ghosts behind the curtains of Savage's Row. I click across the road. Google distorts, moves its time tunnel. I walk along the street and peer in the windows of the cottages, zooming in, double-clicking, looking. The denouncer must make the dignity of the suprapersonal values of the tribe salient and accessible to view. She pouts, determined, emphatic, performing her offence, her office. And the denunciation must be delivered in their name. We know. What the denouncer says must not be regarded as true for them alone. A Mo constitutes the person's identity as a social object. You're a Mo. You are. The identities referred to must be total identities. That is, these identities must refer to persons as types rather than as behaviours. I am not just a passing behaviour that anyone might undertake. I am fixed and categorised, a thing for all time. We know, you are this object. I am the named, the put in place, essentially this at my core. I have this secret they have identified. I don't know what it is, but I know from her face that it is bad. This unworthy secret of myself. It is somehow exposed, has somehow leaked out, the central me. She has seen it, and she is pushing it back inward. Her words, her face are hands, putting something unwanted back into a box. She turns me back on myself, shows me the backward door, stuffs me back in with bitten nails and dirty hands, 7-year-old hands, into a finite, contained, delimited thing, seared and sealed. She plants the noun of me, homosexual, an object with this identity, centrally, an object fully known without details. The details should never be brought to light. My first designation. I feel the meaningless word as it strikes. Even as I reject it, its action begins. It marks an outside where it is spoken, and an inside where I am, in silence and disbelief. The wall of defence I raise against it makes a threshold, the world outside, me inside. And something in me swallows the word, something in me was waiting already, was hungry for the consolations of judgment. The word feels valid, this word, this contempt. I don't know what it means, they know. It feels right, in its disdain, not in its meaning, its meaningless meaning, in its disdain. They know. And there is power in their knowingness, in their knowing about me, about my secret, and they are right. Why else would my mother leave me? You're a mo, you are. We know you are. The degradation ceremonies here discussed are those that are concerned with the alterations of total identities. Persons identified by means of the ultimate reasons for their socially categorized and socially understood behavior will be said to be totally identified.